For our next example, we're going to use the GIMP to do a fairly straightforward bit of banner creation. Now, I want to stress that this is not only something I've done before, it's something I have the instructions for in my hand while I'm making this video. I'm basically just trying to demonstrate how GIMP can be kind of a pain. Now, you'll notice that it doesn't run natively. It's an application within an application, and as an unfortunate result, everything starts in the same place every time. Not where you left it, not on the screen, not really anywhere useful, just wherever it happens to be in the initial layout. This is one of the perils of free software. Another is the menus, which are here inside the GIMP window, rather than, say, here, where menus generally tend to be. And believe me when I tell you that you will find yourself looking through the system menus, trying to figure out why none of the commands are where they're supposed to be, over and over and over again. But that's okay. We're trying to make a banner, so we'll go ahead and make a new image. We'll do 640 by 200, give us a little room to work with. We want to fill it in, so let's go with this because it is fantastically ugly. And now we'll need a little something for visual stimulation, so we can load this. Perfect. Now, we want to copy and paste from one window to the other, but of course we can't just use the standard keyboard shortcuts that we use for everything else that runs under this operating system. Because it's emulated, they don't pass through, so you have to either memorize the GIMP specific keyboard shortcuts, or you can just do what I do and go through the menus. So we have it copied, we have it pasted. Now we're going to want to move it, so we'll pick the movement tool and bring it over here so it's not quite so centered. And then maybe we can rotate it a little so it fits better. And we will give it one of these. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to want to put some text in, obviously. So we'll go. You'll notice I clicked on that, but it didn't select. You'll notice this a lot in GIMP. I'm not sure why, it's just one of those things. So my advice is click several times to make sure you have what you're after. So we'll go over here and, okay, we'll type in some text. Good. Now we can change the size here, and we can change the font if we want to, but in order to change the font we have to go through this fairly kludgy menu, which is very, very slow because it displays all of the system fonts. You'll also notice there's no formatting up here, and this is because it displays the individual font options over here: Rockwell, Rockwell Bold, Rockwell Italic, Rockwell Bold Italic, Rockwell Extra Bold, Ultra Bold. That must be very exciting, I'm sure. But the problem is not every font has those options. So for something like Raven, you don't get to change anything about this text. So for now we'll go ahead and keep it as is, and we'll make this a little bigger so it's easy to read. Maybe not that easy to read. And okay. Then we want to save the image, obviously, so that we can do things with it later. So we would normally probably want to save a copy as an XCF. That's the native GIMP format, so that we could come back and change the text, move the layers around, whatever. But we're just going to go ahead and save it as a JPEG for the purpose of this exercise. We'll call it pointless banner, and we'll put it on the desktop. And it saved as a GIMP format anyway. That's interesting. Let's try it again. And JPEG is selected. So maybe we have to manually change the extension. Isn't that special? Okay, so we go through the JPEG options and save it. And now here on our desktop is the banner. So I don't want you to misunderstand. GIMP can be a very useful and a very powerful tool, but it's not the sort of thing that you can just jump into, even if you know something equivalent like Photoshop, which I've been told actually makes some sort of sense. Most free software, or at least the functional kind, is just like this. It's really handy, but only once you've really figured out what you're doing, and even then it can frustrate you to no end, so be ready.